the smile, a warm oasis that carries with it the implications of friendliness, happiness, and social inclusion. Well, that's not what 50 Cent's enemies think. In fact, they are absolutely terrified of his smile. How is 50 Cent able to, in the right conditions, harness his smile to strike fear down the spines of his enemies? And more importantly, how can we apply these lessons to our own lives while protecting ourselves against these intelligent yet sneaky tactics?
Ended up putting it. That's what rappers do. Rappers put jewelry in videos.
Right, but they usually don't put their...
Right there. The tactic of this smile is so unique among powerful people like 50 Cent that it's never before been uncovered to this level of depth. Yet the learnings can be easily applied to anyone's life. If we don't know how to identify this threatening smile, we're vulnerable to being misled by bad actors. Once we harness this knowledge though, we will be able to readily identify exactly when people are trying to use it or when it should best be used. We're going to break down the 4 specific signs of conversational dominance 50 Cent makes to set up and amplify the perfect execution of this terrifying smile. Then we will reveal the psychology behind the smile and uncover how 50 Cent navigates the after effects of this smile in a way that allows him to fully reap the most benefit. The rapper and businessman 50 Cent has lived a rough life full of immeasurable pressure that has forced his strategies to be turned into diamonds. 50 Cent often finds himself in conversations and interactions with people that have potential to quickly turn confrontational. It is exactly when one is in a moment of tension, conflict, and needs to incite fear that this unusual tactic is so effective. See if you can spot the first sign of conversational dominance that leads 50 Cent on his journey to unleashing this terrifying smile.
I'm from New York. I was actually trying to help Ja survive what I was doing, and I liked the record, so I felt like it was going to fix what I was doing. So I had to get him. So now what we got to do is we got to go rob them other 2 corners too. The other 2 guys keep giving it to him, we got to take that too. So now that they don't have anything to actually give him, to loan him, we cool. Now we can go ahead and get this thing back the way it was supposed to be.
Have you noticed anything peculiar about the way he speaks, specifically at the end of his sentences? Timing and pauses play a significant role in influencing how messages are received and interpreted. Strategic pauses enhance the effectiveness of speech because it allows the counterparty ample time to process information, but more importantly, it puts emphasis on the importance of the message that's about to come. When someone takes a deliberate pause before revealing their main point, it creates an environment of suspense that piques the listener's curiosity. In this suspense, attention is created, and the listener may even begin to feel a slight discomfort until they are relieved by the hearing of that main point. It is within this tension that 50 Cent is able to gain more and more control over the interaction. The moment the listener begins to feel discomfort is the moment that they surrender control to 50 Cent, because they are implicitly putting their ability to feel good into the hands of 50 Cent. This deliberate technique asserts power, creates anticipation, and leverages suspense, all while communicating internal confidence and a feeling of implicit control over the interaction. The first dominant move is utilizing exaggerated pauses before key points. So why are you pausing right now? Don't leave me in anticipation. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment because your support is what keeps this alive. This perceived personal control in the interaction begins to sow that eerie feeling of discomfort in the counterparty, but it's nowhere near the effect that 50 Cent's next tactic has. It's almost sickening how calculated it is. See if you can spot it.
Almost, they was actually loaning him their energy at that point.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like, in connection to, it was cool. I wouldn't have attacked if it wasn't cool.
All right. Has there ever been any beef, and this is safe to say, that you might have regret? Like, honestly, like that you might have said, you know, maybe I should leave it at that.
I mean, I could have passed on all of it. I could have not said anything and just kept winning. You see what I'm saying? It's just
When in tension, after 50 Cent makes a statement or an assertion, he makes piercing eye contact with literally no facial emotion. The more information that we intentionally give our counterparty, the more we show that we care about what is going on in their mind and about how they are perceiving the interaction that they are having with us. So if you were to purposefully withhold information through the restriction of your facial expressions, it will only serve in communicating your desired dominance and make the counterparty begin to feel isolated and unseen. Not receiving any cues of facial emotion can be deeply unnerving for the counterparty. Being on the receiving end of no facial expression from 50 Cent implies that 50 Cent has no desire to appease or manage what he says in order to fit in with his counterparty's perspectives. When a counterparty only has the piercing eye contact to go off of and no other emotion, they begin to feel a real lack of control. The counterparty begins to further foster that eerie, unnerving feeling as they begin to realize that this guy is not expressing interest in my reaction to what he has to say, and it potentially begins to make the counterparty feel like 50 Cent has this assumption of dominance over the whole interaction. 50 Cent's second tactic to conversational dominance is the intentional suppression of all facial expression. Now, we will come back to this in the future as it all adds up in the end, and as we uncover his next tactics, you will simultaneously be able to further spot the ones we have already covered. As the counterparty slowly loses control, that feeling of unnervingness grows as they begin to think to themselves, how did I get in this situation and can I get out of it? However, it is 50 Cent's next tactic that gains him more and more control while getting him closer and closer to the execution of that infamous smile.
revisit those situations so they.
But you're looking like the bully. You're looking like the bully. You're looking like the
bully because what is the bully? Look at this. Look, how can you bully people that have initially, like, what I'm telling you is if I'm already in an altercation and someone comes to you.
If you punch me in my mouth, I'm up. I'm up. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm all the way. Let me tell you, I'm all the way up. And guess what's going to happen? Once you punch me in my mouth, I'm going to get my man, Terrence, K.O. Lewis, I'm going to get him to punch me in my mouth. Because then
when things get to a point of further tension, we see 50 Cent correct his posture to be more upright, and he begins to nod at the aggression of his counterparty, completely accepting of it. But what is so telling here is a subtler signal. Combined with the previous signals, the way that he exaggerates his chewing, almost to a point of it being dramatic, cues us into the reality that he is fully ready to meet aggression with aggression. Giving that chewing gum reduces stress, this exaggerated display of chewing, especially when it's in response to aggression, signals a maintaining of composure and communicates a casual dismissal of a threat. When utilized in conjunction with other clear signals like the correction to an upright posture and clear nods of acceptance, by amplifying a mundane action like gum chewing, 50 Cent is essentially downplaying the seriousness of the threat posed by the counterparty. It is this meeting of your counterparty's aggression with more aggression that aids in stunning your counterparty and then psychologically disarming them. 50 Cent's third conversationally dominant move is excitement and readiness at confrontation. Maneuvering confrontation and delivering bad news is a complex topic, which is why we covered it on day 6 of the free course. If you're a subscriber, click the link below to claim it. You're really gonna like it. However, this next tactic 50 Cent implements is the one right before he unleashes his terrifying smile, and it's also one that you can apply directly to your life the moment that you notice it. So see if you can spot it.
If Jay-Z would have did a song with Ja Rule,
he would have got it like everybody else. He stayed clear of that motherfucker. Like, look, you think? Let me tell you something. Look,
if Jay-Z would have jumped on the track with Ja, you would have went at Jay. Honestly,
who you think Jay-Z is? This is crazy. Where I'm at, the price of life, where I grew up at, the price of life is cheap. So, if you got the money, if you got the bag, it's gonna happen. When you drop it, it's a go. So tell me who is that? Oh, you think I won't drop the bag? That's what you think?
Nah, look, hey.
You got to be kidding me. Like, that's the easiest thing in the world.
I'm just asking.
And then you say, and you got to get, and I got the team. I got to come, I got to get stronger than linebackers. My lawyer is the.
When 50 Cent questions his counterparty, it's still threatening, but his tone shows a sense of concern. He utilizes a high-pitched tone and he talks like he's surprised in order to send the message that I will not give you anger. The only thing I will give you is disbelief. It's crazy that you would do such a thing. You must not understand my power. In this way, a threat is turned empathetic. The high-pitched tone serves in sending the message that don't do that, dude. It's not smart. The odds are stacked far, far against you. This deep, aggravated breath, right before he cracks the smile, shows us that he wants his counterparty to know that the monster is coming out. 50 Cent wants to portray his strength through an expression of disbelief and empathy, but he wants his counterparty to fully understand that just because I'm looking out for you right now does not mean I'm going to hold the monster back when he comes. The fourth conversationally dominant move 50 Cent implements is a high-pitched voice of disbelief when challenged. After seeing the first glimpse of the unleashing of this terrifying smile, let us now finally watch the full clip and delve into the psychology behind this gruesome and calculated smile.
Think I won't drop the bag? That's what you think?
No, look, hey.
You got to be kidding me. Like, that's the easiest thing in the world.
I'm just asking.
And then you say, and you got to get, and I got the team. I got to come, I got to get stronger than linebackers. My lawyers, got a crew.
I gotta.
Front line stronger than that. What? They running, they want to do anything and everything they can to try and get some money, right? And a lot of times settling the case is cheaper than the lawyers because I got that expensive high-end legal team, right? The good guys call. So, I mean, it'll force you to develop the other side of that. When you don't think you should be spending that kind of money on it, that you let things happen. Things that would happen in any other circumstances will continue to happen.
Well, look, man, June 3rd is around the corner.
Wrong speed, wrong time, horrifying implications, and the message is fundamentally inhuman. Let me explain. You see, when 50 Cent is in the middle of tension, he smiles not when something funny is said. No, he utilizes his smile during points of silence. He builds up the counterparty's position, takes a deep pause, and then gives a massive calculated grin. It is a smile that is born out of disbelief and aids in communicating to the counterparty that you have no idea what you are getting into. This correspondingly incites confusion and the budding of regret within the counterparty as they begin to realize that 50 Cent is not smiling because something is funny. No, but because he's about to rest on his laurels of power and the challenge in front of him is so easy and simple that the mere thought of it inspires joy in his once cold, emotionless face. It is at this point we're able to fully realize that by keeping all of his facial expressions suppressed until he releases that giant smile, it allows the smile to not only be the largest, but the only recognizable nonverbal facial signal in that moment. It is the contrast between this super expressive smile and the rest of his deadpan face that evokes the culmination of this eerie and irky feeling within the counterparty that has been bubbling within them this whole time. You see, nobody wants to face an enemy who retains joy at the thought of complete destruction. We humans have an instinctual drive to stay alive and avoid harm. This smile is scary and super effective as a threat because it is fundamentally inhuman by showing a desire to move towards harm. As 50 Cent raises the smile in a slow and calculated manner, the mere slowness of it inspires discomfort in the counterparty. Smiles are supposed to be instinctive and done in the moment. To see one arise at a moment where they usually don't, in a speed and fashion that they usually don't, it really sets you off. 50 Cent utilizes these traditionally feel-good expressions like smiling in a non-traditional manner to exacerbate the nervous mindset of his counterparty. 50 Cent acts joyful when his counterparty expects him to be angry, and in this contradiction is the source of his threatening presence. It is the contrast between what is and what should be that makes the counterparty second guess themselves, and like a wounded gazelle, they back down before the challenge even begins. A deep unfamiliarity with this kind of emotional expression, combined with 50 Cent's implicit show of hidden power, strikes fear in those who contest against him. It is for these reasons that when people are in contention with 50 Cent and they see him begin to unleash that smile, they are flooded with thoughts of his reputation and can't help but think to themselves, I've just crossed a line and I have no idea what I'm getting myself into. There is a trick this archetype uses that most people are exposed to though, and that is using this tactic but in the opposite direction. See if you can spot this tactic that is just as dangerous.
I want him to be the best as possible. Like I was looking to build that artist that you could lean on when they actually start acting funny with you.
Mm-hmm.
You see Jay do it with Kanye.
There we go.
That's what he's doing with Watch the Throne, man. Come on, like you got one #1 record in your entire career. Same question that you asked me, Jimmy Iovine asked me. And I said, Jimmy, look, okay, I'll do the record with Game. Right after I die, you own the masters.
It is precisely here where we are able to uncloak a massive source of 50 Cent's intimidation factor. When the counterparty begins to laugh, 50 Cent intentionally straightens and tightens his face, suppressing all emotion, and the only thing he offers is that piercing eye contact. 50 Cent becomes cheerful when others assume he would be angry and serious, and he becomes angry and serious when others assume he's going to be cheerful. This off-putting and intentionally mal-timed demeanor is exactly what allows 50 Cent to set that undercurrent of fear. Now as he departs from this interview, see if you can spot the tactic that 50 Cent uses to cement his counterparty in that headspace of fear.
You know, I'm glad you stopped through. Yeah, time for the little people.
Okay, look, let me ask you a question. How much you think it'll cost to kill somebody?
Nowadays, couple stacks.
About 5,000.
Yeah,
4,000.
couple stacks.
But why would it cost so much to go through the court proceedings? That makes sense, right? Yeah, even this up.
In order to cement this feeling of fear in his counterparty, when 50 Cent says, then why would it cost so much to go through the court proceedings? He is technically asking a question here, but what he is really trying to do is send the implicit message that he's already gone through it. By asking this rhetorical question, 50 Cent sends the message that, hey, this isn't anything new to me and wouldn't be out of my norm, but without explicitly saying it or assuming any sort of blame. By doing this directly before he departs, it leaves the counterparty in a headspace where they need to think. And in the 5 seconds it takes his counterparty to understand the gruesome truth, 50 Cent is already gone. And the only thing they are left with is that irking, unnerving, inhuman feeling of the implicit threat. Now that the moves have been discussed, and in order to cement this knowledge for yourself, let's watch this new clip in its entirety and see if you can spot all the previously discussed tactics that 50 Cent implements in real time.
The MMG chain in the major distribution video. Where did that come from? What's going on?
Oh, it came from a jeweler. Jewelers, they made it, and we got it, so they ended up putting it. That's what rappers do. Rappers put jewelry in videos.
Right, but they usually don't put their rival rappers.
Yeah. I thought it would be unexpected, like when you see ASAP with a Death Row hat on. It's cool. It's interesting. Like you look and say, something's out of place.
After 50 Cent says it came from a jeweler, he immediately begins to implement ever so slightly the micro expressions of a smile before breaking out into a full grin. This aids 50 in subtly communicating to his counterparty that what he is saying is not the truth, as he expresses joy in a moment of tension and possible conflict. By saying that's what rappers do, he's making an argument for this facade that he's putting up, but the intentional structural weakness of the argument combined with the previous smile shows us that he's playing a game, finding joy in the moment that his counterparty pushes on a conflict. 50 Cent wants us to realize that the truth is the opposite of what I said, and by using his emotion to contradict what his counterparty expects him to express, his message comes across as much more sinister, calculated, and unforgiving. However, when we're in a group environment, instead of facing confrontation head on, oftentimes it's a lot more beneficial to first gain the favor of the group using humor. Utilizing humor in high-stakes, low-trust environments requires care and prudence, otherwise it's going to crash and burn. This is exactly why we have the FAPA method, click the video on screen now to uncover it. My name is Glidget Ronan. Thank you so much for watching.